Hi, it's Tess, and this is tip 473, and I'm going to talk about the connectors. I'm just going to do a quick one because I'm not really sure how long I'm going to have before there's going to be speaker announcements going on. Many know that for the past, well, many probably don't know. For the past week, I've been at Masterminds. I started in Buffalo, and I ended up in San Diego, and I'm on my way home right now. But I thought it was interesting. Doc B is kind of talking to a lot of us about sharing our experiences. Well, this will just be like a touch base, just a teeny bit, just to make sure I'm getting these lives going again, because I kind of fell off while I was gone. But he talked this morning about a book called The Tipping Point, and I've purchased a couple of those audio books because I love to listen to audiobooks now. I'll try not to shake the phone. But what I thought was really interesting is that he mentioned a book. Well, hi, Nancy, it's good to see you. Dr. was talking about a book called The Tipping Point by, I'm going to forget his name. I forgot his name, so I'll share that. Oh, hi, Mary, it's good to see you. And so I'll share the name of the book in my comments. I forgot the name off the top of my head. But it's so good to see you guys. And I thought what I would share right now is that this whole past week for me has been about connections. Just last night, what a beautiful ending to the event. I'm not sure how many know Frank Shamrock. He was an MMA fighter. He was at the event. What he did, he spoke at the event, but then we all went to the beach afterwards, and they put up like umbrellas and tables and had some munchies and some beverages to drink. And he was such a nice guy. He went from place to place to place, squatted down, sat down, talked to everybody. And it was a relaxing thing to be on the ocean watching the sunset, talking to all these speakers that had come to the event. But it made me think about this book that Doc B talked about, and I'm catching up on my lives from him. So it was either today, it's probably been within the past 3 days. He was talking about the tipping point, outliers, and there was a third book. I will look them up and I'll share it. Oh, Mary, that's so unfortunate. Mary's sharing that she got COVID, so she had to miss the events. That's hard because I know that's happening to a lot of people right now. Like, I'm not wearing a mask now, but inside the plane I will, just because I myself have the older parents, and I just want to make sure I don't bring it to them. Okay, I'll apologize. Here it goes.
Control and Prevention recommends social distancing to stop the spread of germs. Please keep 6 feet of distance from others.
I don't know if you can hear that. They're recommending that you stay 6 feet away from each other. And that's the airport overhead, so I'll have to be fast so I don't get caught up with them again. But this weekend's been about connections, and I am so lucky for the connections that I made. I always have such a good time with Chris Nago and team, and there's a lot of knowledge. And actually, there were a few connections that came up through that. People that want to help me, like with the speaking, or were interested in the book that I've been writing. I came out here, and the same thing happened a couple more times. And it is exactly what Dr. B says. You have to get out of your way, and you have to start reaching out and talking to people. And I actually talked to people, but it's supportive when you talk to somebody and they are interested, or they say that you're headed in the right direction.
Attention, the terminal British Airways is paging the following
I'm going to have to be quick.
Sandrine 30s. Sandrine
Not
30s.
me.
Please make your way to gate 51 for an important message. Thank you.
Well, at least it wasn't me they're looking for. But the connections were amazing, and I could list hundreds of people that were there. Steve Sims was there. Kelly Cardenas was there. He's always a super person. Then we were with Chris last weekend, Chris Nagle, Stephen Nagy, Brent Kessler. So these are the connections, because in the book, The Tipping Point, he was talking about the idea that you have mavens, which are the people that are influencing by sharing knowledge. So I would almost consider the people that we've been spending the past week with mavens, which means they're sharing knowledge, and also connectors, because they have connections that they can bring you in contact with. And I saw both of that, a lot of it this week. I'm almost a little bit tired. I legitimately am tired because I've been getting up at 3 a.m. so I could put in 4 hours on the job before I went to these events. But it was worth every minute of it, for the connections, for being able to soundboard off people things that you're thinking about and wanting to move forward with, and then even getting contacts of people who may be interested in helping you to move forward. So for those that haven't jumped into any of this yet, I don't ever want to stop. And I think you might find the same thing. If you start going to these, you won't ever want to stop. And that book that Doc V was talking about, I can't wait to listen to the whole book, because since I just purchased the books, and I know I can't get through the book all totally, I actually just looked up articles on the internet, newspaper articles about the author, so that I could find the tipping point. And then when it popped up with connectors, I'm like, oh, well, that's what we just did for the past
Final
week.
board call for Legion Flight 198, one non-stop service to Medford.
I better
All to be
be quick.
confirmed passengers must be present at gate 33 and ready to board.
So I like the idea that the connectors, but in my case, what I'm experiencing is the connectors are also educators. And it's a beautiful thing when you can have a dream or an idea. We all have our circle of family, or our circle of family and friends. I kind of call that my heart circle now. If you're looking to move up in your life and move into different things, I have, ever since Zipline, I refer to it as my Fort Knox circle. And that's that people that are surrounding me, that have the hand out to study me or to give me guidance as I move forward in life. And I think for me, I'm finding that to be the perfect mix. I have the heart circle, those that have been there with me since the day I was born, or since the day they were born, you know, in the case of my sister, niece, and nephew. But then there's that next outer level, and that's like what I'm calling my Fort Knox, and that is the people that are guiding through education, through connections. Doc V, I know it probably was hard for him not to be with us this week, but he had something he had to take care of, and it's exciting when you start to work on something and you can talk to people that are doing things that you've never done, things that you might have a desire to, and they're giving you guidance or advice or even offering to help you on your journey. And I had that happen a couple of times this weekend, which was pretty amazing. I always say my only handicap through this whole weekend is I wanted to try to get to everybody, but there were so many people to try to get to, it seemed like I always ran out of time. So just kind of to recreate, this is the book, The Tipping Point, and I purchased it after Doc V was talking about it this morning. And for me, I'm to Audibles now because I love reading books, but reading books takes me a lot longer than listening to an Audible. But it's really that the tipping point is that, and I'm going to read it kind of off the article. The tipping point is small changes
Attention to the terminal.
at the right time and the right place with the right people to create the tipping point.
And Sandrine 30s. Sandrine
They're still looking for the
Please
same
make your way
person.
to gate 51 for an important message. Thank you.
Okay, so that basically the tipping point is that you make small changes at the right time and the right place with the right people, and it can create a tipping point. This weekend, I spent a lot of time with mavens who are educators and connectors who know a lot of people to relate to. I'm very, very excited about what the future holds. It was amazing to meet people who could let you know you were headed in the right direction, and that they also extended a hand in help. I'm not going to say that hand is a free hand, but it's a hand of a person that can truly bring you next level. I don't want to keep this going forever because I'm sure there'll be another announcement soon. I will share more of what happened at the event. I just wanted to get back on because I know it's been a few days or probably close to a week since I've been on, but I've been on the road at Masterminds since the end of last week. But I will never regret that because life today is so much more than it was before I got on this journey and lost this weight. Just as a reminder for those that don't know, I was at a BMI of 60. I've lost like 192 pounds, and life is not the same, and I'll never let it go back to what it was before. So I'll touch base with you guys tomorrow. For those in Doc V's group, I'll go live in his group tomorrow night. Thank you for being here. Have a beautiful night. Look for the educators and look for the connectors. Take that hand up and make your life better than you ever dreamed possible. Thanks, and have a great day.